Hey guys. All right. So this has been an interesting week, to say the least. I feel like I've had different friends' relationships all in my face this week. I've had two friends in the last week tell me about how their relationships are incredibly hard and super rocky right now, but they're sticking it out. I had another friend who has been in her relationship for years and she's getting out. And then I had another friend who shared with me that she got engaged after just a few months, and so she's rushing into a relationship. So anyways, I've been like riled up about all of these people. And one of my dear guy friends was messaging me the other day, and it just kind of opened up a can of worms with me, and I was like with the keyboard and going like, this is what I think, and stuff like that. So I figure that I just believe that there's always reasons behind everything. And I think that one of the reasons for all of this happening was for me to kind of talk through, I think, about like, how does adult child of a borderline know that they're actually ready for a relationship? Know that they're ready to not just date, not just make out, but actually am ready to, you know, meet someone and go down that road to marriage. So anyway, so I wrote out, and of course, this is going to be another 3-part series because otherwise you guys will be stuck listening to me for like a full hour on YouTube. I broke it down into a few different sections that I think are really important. So the first section here is just, basically my, where I'm at now when it comes to relationships and knowing if I am actually ready or not. And I'm going to tell you right up front, I don't know if I'm fully ready for a relationship or not. I think that I look at this list, and I'm like, I think most of them I'm good with, but not all of them. I think I still have some that are still struggles for sure. So anyway, but at least I'm getting closer. I'm getting closer. So all right. So the first one is really the whole knowing that I'm enough as I am, alone, without a partner. I think that's huge. Huge. Remember, as a child of a borderline, you have been taught that you are not enough on your own, that you were meant to be, the basically extended ego of your parent, your borderline parent. So you already know deep down that you already struggle with that. So it's really important that I think that if you're going to have a successful relationship, that you actually know that you are enough as you are. So I think first thing is that you have to be able to have a great romantic relationship with yourself. I mean, how you treat yourself is truly how you treat another person. I know at first, it's really easy for the first few years even to like be so nice and so kind to someone else and be better to them than you are to yourself. But ultimately, really, at the end, you can only treat someone as well as you can treat yourself. And so I think that being able to have a loving relationship towards yourself is really important. Like for me, one of the things that I'm really trying to do is just whenever I'm having a hard day, whenever I do something stupid or make a bad decision, or I can feel like the emotional, like kind of like outraging coming out, or I'm exhausted and I'm just tapped out. I'm actually starting to respond with tenderness to myself and not be judgmental. That's like huge, like when I make a good decision, like I did today with something, I celebrated that, and I went, I'm going to take myself out for ice cream. Like I'm going to be nice to myself. Like, is this what I need? If this is what I need, then I'm going to take care of me, and I'm not going to expect, so I think that's huge. I think you have to be able to do that. Okay. Next is, to know that you actually deserve a great relationship. Like, that's huge. That totally gets down into all the self-worth stuff, all of the, you know, self-esteem and all that kind of stuff. So, you have to really believe that you actually deserve a great relationship, um, before I think you can really be in one. I mean, I do think some people luck out and they end up with someone who does treat them really well. But at the same time, like, you're going to struggle to to believe that and to receive even that goodness if you haven't worked out the fact that you deserve to be in a great relationship. So, all right. And then this is, I think, a really cool sign too, is I miss but don't need a relationship. Like, I miss being in a relationship, but I don't need a relationship. We know the difference between the two. Like, I can miss, when I'm with my friends, like, oh, like, oh, I miss, getting, the cuddle and the automatic guaranteed dance partner, at a party. Or I miss, not having someone who I automatically know I'm going to have plans with for a holiday weekend. Of course, like, I miss that. But I think the difference between that and needing and being needy is, you're like, oh my God, I can't go through the holiday weekend without someone, So there's a big difference. And so you need to be able to miss, but not need a relationship. So, I think this one, I love this one. This is actually what I got from one of my mindfulness instructors, Gabrielle Bernstein. She rocks. I date my friends and loved ones now. That I date them now. I think that's so important. I think a lot of times, uh, we can sit at home, we can do nothing, and we can feel sorry for ourselves and all that shit. And then what happens when we start dating someone and we get attached? Then, like, we don't have that back support or those people already in our lives to help us already feel loved. So I think that's really important that we do make an effort to actually, go and do things like that. Like, something I'm trying to do with my friends, because I also need to lose weight right now, is go on walks with my friends on like a monthly basis or every other month or something like that. I want to make sure that I get good time with them. And it doesn't always have to be like, going to grab a beer or going to grab dinner or something like that. So, and then the last one is, I don't let toxic people into my life now. That's huge. If we when we are struggling with people in our lives now because they're not actually healthy for us, it just makes us more at risk of ending up in a romantic relationship with someone who is also toxic too. And also, like, gosh, this is something, it just drives me nuts when people don't get this. Um, the thing is that also too is that we have to remember how much of our decisions in love are totally unconscious, totally subconscious, and how we're drawn to the people that we're drawn to. And a lot of times it is because they remind us of our past. They are, us trying to make it up with the parent that we had, or rejected us, or whatever. So much of what we do is so unconscious. And so I think that we have to understand then that we got to give ourselves time to really see if the person that we're dating is toxic or not. And so, anyway, the number one way that we can prepare ourselves for that is by making sure that the people who are in our lives who are toxic, they are not good for you. That when you get done hanging out with them, you feel like you are a notch less of a person. You have to have those people either out of your life, or have a very strong boundary with them and a healthier boundary with them. I know for me, it really took me to go no contact with my parents for me to really get to that next step where I was like, okay, I think I could be with someone because I know now more than ever that I have the power to keep people out of my life, who are not healthy for me. Because, oh, that especially as you get older, I think especially for um, those of us in our, mid to later 30s and up, there's less people in the world that are as marriage material as it was 10, 15 years ago for us. So I think that it's all the more than of a reason why we have to make sure that we know that we are already practicing actively keeping people who are toxic for us out of our lives. So, anyway, all right, done with my soapbox, at least number one soapbox. So, on to number two.